What is going on, guys? Back for some more videos of bodybuilding and fitness, and today we're talking about Greg Doucette's comments pertaining to Wesley Vissers. Now, I watched the entire video and I don't agree, like, with some things. I mean, it's not everything I don't agree with, but the majority of things he mentioned about Wesley Vissers I do not agree with. So I thought, why not go ahead and watch the entire video and break down the points that he made that I just don't agree with. Now, we all have our own opinion. We can, agree, disagree. We can, obviously state the facts that we believe and, leave it right there. But I feel like, Wesley Vissers does deserve some defending here because, I kind of feel like Greg doesn't even know who he is. I don't know who he is, but based off of what I see in videos, I feel like Greg has pulled some different interpretation of who Wesley really is versus how he's actually showing himself. But we're going to get in the video and we're going to go ahead and see Greg's points and try to go ahead and elaborate on each and every point. I'm going to try to, speed up the video a little bit. I don't want to, be here for like 30, 40, 50 minutes debunking every point. But now we're going to go ahead and watch it and see how all that works. So, yeah.
Due to popular request, a lot of people ask, what's your opinion on this guy? And I really do have a strong opinion.
Yeah, what's your opinion, bro?
Before I get into all that, let me just point out, this is my opinion. I don't really know him. I don't know anything other than what I've seen and watched.
So he is stating that this is his opinion. He doesn't know the guy, like I just said earlier. So we need to obviously, understand that, he hasn't really talked to him, communicated with him, trained with him. So he doesn't really know him. And the personalities that we see online are usually not how people are in real life. So, but, either way, let's get into it.
And heard him, so take it with a grain of salt. I'm going to give you my opinion on why he doesn't do so good in classic physique and so on. All right, so this guy is about 23, 24 years old from the Netherlands. And basically, he got famous or popular because of Nick Strength and Power. Nick Strength and Power had run a...
So I actually found out who Wesley Vissers was because he turned pro. So some people did find out who he was from Nick Strength and Power, but someone like me who follows bodybuilding, I watch Nick Strength and Power, but I do also follow bodybuilding, follow all the pro shows, the amateur shows, and I found out who he was when he turned pro. I think last year at the British Nationals or something like that. But either way, yeah. So Nick did obviously promote him from the Mr. Golden Era competition and gave him some popularity.
Basically, some kind of like online competition of who's the most classic guy. And there's this guy, and he kind of looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Not really like looks like him, but similar height, and he works out, and so you get those similarities. He has a different accent, and he's good looking, and so on. Okay. So he's around that 6'2", and competes like 235,
really tall.
240, whatever.
I think he was 247 actually at the Olympia.
1 or 2 pounds or 6 pounds heavier. I don't care. So he's not at the limit of what he's allowed to weigh in competition. He's under the limit. Okay, so what do I think? Well, I've watched a lot of his videos from Nick Strength and Power back then, and I've seen him progress, and I thought, oh, he has some good body parts. Good body parts, not good flow overall aesthetics. Good individual body parts. For example, great arms, good chest.
That's an insane photo. I think the arms here, are they photoshopped? I don't know, man. Bro, he looks like he deserves to be on the Open Olympia stage here. Like, those arms are freaking dumb. Really thick chest as well. Damn, bro. Like, he could do Open. He really could. What's
bad? A lot is bad. So let's just get into what I've seen from him when he competes. Okay. A, he is not lean enough. No matter what you think, you can always get leaner. Yeah, there's 1% of people that are lean enough and whatever. But
I think that Wesley, he's lean enough, but his lower body doesn't come in condition, which obviously means he needs to get leaner, or maybe it's a lack of mass because his legs are not as thick and as full and as volumized as his upper body. So he probably could just, add some more thickness to his lower body, and that probably might fix the issue. But I mean, I've seen photos of him, I've seen pictures of him, I've seen videos of him when he was like 2 days out of the Olympia back in 2017, I believe, 18. Bro, he was insane. He was insane. Like, I would actually like to go back and find this, took the video and thinking about. He was covered in lines, covered in veins, covered in cross striations. It was disgusting. But for whatever reason, you didn't see that on stage. So I'm thinking more so he's messing up his peak week. He's messing up that whole process, perhaps, of the water and, the sodium, and probably doing something there where he should not be doing, because a couple days out, he looks like he could be Mr. Olympia. Dead ass. He looks amazing. But on stage, you just don't see it. So I just feel like he's probably doing one or two things that is messing up that process. But either way, yes, there's no such thing as being too shredded.
But in general,
unless you're a girl doing bikini, but beyond that, there's no such thing.
No one's lean enough. He could be way leaner. If he got way leaner and added more muscle, he would do better. Because classic physique, they literally...
If anyone got leaner and added more muscle, they would do better in any division, except bikini. Because bikini, you don't need all that muscle. But that's for every single division. 212, open, men's physique. All divisions can benefit from more size and being more shredded.
Really are going for big guys. You have to make weight, but you still need to be huge. If you're giving up 5 or 10 pounds under your weight limit, you're losing 5 to 10 pounds of muscle that you could build to help you beat other guys.
It's true.
Okay.
I mean, he's a young guy, so obviously he's still growing. Breon, who's he was the current champion at the time, I suppose. Back in September. He's 39, I believe. So obviously Chris Bumstead is, probably around the same age as Wesley Vissers. But I mean, age will definitely bring out a lot of these body parts he's missing, a lot of the conditioning that he's missing. Sometimes you just need that muscle to have been there for quite a few years to really see it come out, to bring it out. So he just probably needs some more time. He has that veal muscle. I think it was Jose Raymond who was describing Derek Lunsford. He called his muscle veal, like a baby cow muscle. So he just needs more time to grow.
So that's the first thing. Next, he's good in the fact that he's tall. That's his huge plus. Being 6'2" gives him a huge advantage and a lot.
Well, he is tall, right? But he's also big as shit. Look at him standing next to this guy. I believe this guy is it Amir or something like that? He came second to Wesley at the Chicago Pro in 2018. Wesley actually won. This is his pro debut. This is the first show he has ever competed in as a pro. He won the show. He won. Just take a look at Wesley right there. He has legs. He has calves. He has everything he needs. He can match up to these guys. He has the size. Could his color have been better? Yes. Could he have used more oil? Yes. But, in terms of conditioning, he has it. He just needs to work more so, I suppose, on the presentation. And, maybe not doing so much during the whole peak week process. Again, I don't know what he does for the water and the sodium loading and all that stuff. But he looks way better days out than he ever did on stage. In every competition he's ever entered. Days out, or even days before, friggin' on point. On the day, you can pinpoint some flaws. So yeah, whatever that process is. But look at him right there. He looks insane.
A lot of you will try to debate with me and say, no, if he's shorter, he would do better. Just look at the winner, blah, blah, blah. Well, Chris Bumstead's now the winner. He's taller. It helps to be 6 feet tall. What does he think he has good about him? He really thinks he's better than he is. He's very, I would call it, cocky, which is fine.
I don't really see this. This is where this statement here is kind of what really inspired me to kind of make a video, kind of debunking certain things. Not really debunking, but I guess giving more so my opinion, what I think about his, statements. I don't see it. Wesley is not a cocky guy. Go ahead and look at Wesley's videos. He's confident, just as you should be, just as every other competitor who's trying to build their physique and be the best in the world is. But, cocky is I'm going to be the best, I'm going to beat everyone. I'm number one. I'm going to be the next this and this. You know, I've never heard any of that from Wesley, ever. Wesley seems to be a very down-to-earth guy. To me, he seems like he has a bit of humble, you know, that humble demeanor behind him. I've never picked up any of this like cocky attitude, you know, bigging himself up like, oh, I'm the greatest and I'm number one. He has drawn comparisons to Arnold, but I mean, they're warranted. He's Arnold's height. He's doing Arnold poses. He has those long limbs like Arnold. He has, you know, I guess when he hits the poses, it's like almost a copy and paste of how they both look. So maybe he's misinterpreting I guess his comparison, saying that how Arnold is his inspiration and he wants to look like Arnold and he wants to, you know, bring back that old 70s 60s look that Arnold brought out and introduced to bodybuilding. That's what he wants to do in modern day bodybuilding currently. But yeah, I've never ever gotten a cocky vibe at all from Wesley, so I don't know where the statement came from. I have no idea what he's talking about. And, you know, it's just, yeah, if you watch Wesley's videos, then, you know, you would really see that, you know, yeah, Greg is wrong here. I don't think he's cocky.
That's cool. Arnold was cocky, but he can't back it up with his build. So it's like, you can say how good you are, but then when you get 10th at the Arnold and you're like, oh, I should have beat this guy and this guy and this guy, it's like, it just doesn't make you seem that great.
10th at the Arnold is insane. His first pro show, he won. His first Olympia, I think he was 12th. Like, oh, okay, he wasn't in the top 10, whatever. But bro, you're still 12th in the world. That's nasty. You go to the Arnold, you place top 10 in your very first Arnold. Like, that's insane. You know, people saying if you're not top 5, you're trash. If you're not top 3, you're disgusting. You're trash. Bro, top 10 is still great. You know, and honestly, he should have been, I think, a couple of those guys. Like, he should have been at the very minimum 7th. If you look at the guys who place ahead of him from the 7 to 8 spot, or sorry, the 7 to 10 spot, you can make an argument for him beating all of them. The other guys are just too good. He's not going to beat 6, 5, 4. Like, those guys are insane. If you've seen the Arnold that year, they're insane. But the other guys, you can make an argument for him beating easy, casually. Like, he's too big, he's too tall, he's too long. He looks too good in those poses for them to have beaten him. But the judges made a decision, and it is what it is.
You lost, so shut up and take your loss and try to get better.
I've never heard Wesley complain about his losses. I've never heard Wesley say, you know, that was trash, that was horrible calls, the judge didn't know what we're talking about. You know, Wesley was like, you know what? I didn't do well. Let me take a year off to make improvements, which is what he did. This man took the entire 2019 season off to make improvements, to build his physique, to get better. He wanted to get better so that he can be competitive. He's not saying, you know, oh, you know, these guys are garbage, the judges, they screwed me, I got robbed. I watch a lot of his videos. I've never heard him say this, so I don't know what he's talking about. He's not complaining about his loss. He's realizing that he needs to make improvements, and he took a year off to get better, and now he's better. Now he's going to compete at the Arnold 2020, which is awesome. I don't know what videos Greg is watching. I really don't know. I don't understand what videos he's actually looking at to get this information from.
You don't have a great physique. Is it better than mine? Yeah, I suck. I'm 44. He's 24. He's got more potential. He's taller. Whatever. I'm not here to say I'm better than this guy. I'm here to say he's not as good as he thinks he is.
I think Wesley is interesting. You know, his physique is great, but maybe not great for what the judges are looking for. He has an awesome physique to look at. He poses amazingly. He's just this tall, big, overwhelming person. But it seems like at the Olympia, they want kind of a shorter look. They want thicker look. They want way more condition. Obviously, now Chris Bumstead is a champion, but beyond being short, he has all those other attributes. He's thick. He's very shredded. He's lean, crazy vacuum. I just feel like Wesley needs to kind of bring the look that the judges are looking for. And he has a physique to do it. He just needs to bring that in.
What do I not like about him? I hate his vacuum. His vacuum is horrible. His vacuum sucks.
I don't agree. I don't think it sucks. He probably doesn't have the best rib cage for the vacuum, but I mean, he's working with what he has. You know, he was given the shape, he was given the structure that he obviously has. He was born with it. His waist is straight. There is no taper. His quads don't flare out, so that doesn't help the taper at all. So you can look at his physique and you can kind of see, well, it kind of looks like something's not really there. You know, he doesn't have that, you know, crazy X. But I feel like if he didn't hit the vacuum, it'll look worse. He has one of those waists to where if you suck it in, it will help you more than if you just leave it alone and try to flex it and squeeze it in poses. You know, so I feel the vacuum helps him more than it hurts him. Either way, he doesn't really have the best waist in the world to work with, but he's doing the best he can. I think he really can't execute it any better, like honestly.
Forget the vacuum. Just because you're in classic doesn't mean you have to do a vacuum. Sure, if it looks great on you like Chris Bumstead, do it. But if you're not good at it, it doesn't look good. You can't just copy Chris's thigh and abdominal and then when he's...
Yeah, this is a pretty crazy comparison. I just think Wesley probably doesn't suck in the vacuum enough. You know, look how deep Chris Bumstead's vacuum is versus Wesley versus vacuum. You know, Wesley, he does a vacuum, but it's more so like a partial vacuum. If he just sucked it in a bit more and got that really, really deep, like Chris Bumstead, the really deep, like rib cage exposure, I feel like that would just help the look. Because although his waist isn't, you know, tapered in well, it still is flat. It's, you know, relatively small in comparison to his upper body. So if he sucked it in more, it will look better. So I mean, it's not the fact he needs to practice vacuum. He just probably needs to execute it in a different way that looks better for his physique. So hopefully he does that. And as you can see here, he actually has some really good sweep on the quads. This photo actually looks insane. It looks friggin' dumb, actually. I've never seen his quads like this on stage. So maybe this is after a leg workout and his quads are big, thick, and full. I don't really know. But I've never seen him look like this on the day of the show. And if he brings this really sweepy look, bro, it's a different story. But he doesn't look like this on stage, so yeah.
Sucks in his vacuum, and if you don't have that, you look like shit. When he does the thigh and abdominal and he sucks in his stomach, it looks horrible. Okay?
Yeah, Wesley doesn't suck in all the way. I don't think it looks horrible. I just think he can execute it better. You know, case in point, once again, Chris Bumstead. Chris Bumstead, you know, he creates a whole nother space to fit a planet when he does a vacuum. Like he sucks it in so deep. If Wesley just goes that deep with his vacuum, it would look better. He just needs to suck it in more.
His legs don't have good sweep. So they're not that they're super small. They're not great. They're not really as well developed.
See the sweep we just saw in the photo? It's not there on stage. His legs look straight. So, yeah.
His upper body. But there's no real sweep on his legs either. He doesn't have that great X frame. On the side, he doesn't have thick hamstrings. He doesn't have a lot of detail and cuts in his hamstrings.
It's true. I agree. He does not have pretty much any lower body condition from the side. You can see some glute coming out there in the side chest, you know, but beyond that, I mean, like, you know, if you take Breon's side leg, Chris Bumstead's side leg, and put towards Wesley, it's like night and day. It's like comparing an amateur to a pro. I think Wesley knows he needs to work on his lower body. He knows this. Lower body and conditioning. So, yeah, I do agree here. He needs to definitely work on that side leg.
On the side of his legs, his quadriceps. So he's lacking in detail that could be there. His back pose is weak. It's not that it's small, it's that it doesn't come down as an X frame.
Yeah, I just think Wesley has a good back. I just feel, once again, he's not showing it to the best of his ability. You know, I mean, he kind of has, you know, if you go back to the pose, let's actually look at this. So it's not that he's kind of hunched forward, but he doesn't arch his back. And I feel like some people can get away with standing straight in a back double bicep, but others need that slight arch. Like, for example, I feel like if Rolly Winkler just arch his back a little bit in the back double bicep, he'll bring out those lower lats a bit more. He doesn't do that. Wesley, you can see that he has a Christmas tree. He has lower lats. He has thickness. You know, the back is there. He just needs to maybe bring the elbows back a little bit and do a little bit of an arch. It will look better. It would look insane, but he doesn't do it. He kind of stands straight, and you know, he needs to just execute the pose better.
Down as an X frame. He doesn't have that cartoon character appearance. Okay? So it's not a strong pose for him. What does he pride himself on? Posing like Arnold. Classic physique doesn't mean you have to pose like guys in the 70s. It's not about that. You can if you want, but it's not going to make you win a contest just because you do Arnold's pose. Just because Arnold did this and had good arms and he had a big chest, you can't just copy it and be like, oh, I can do a pose like Arnold did, so I'm good. And just because Arnold's legs were smaller than they should have been, if you analyze Arnold's physique back then, and if you had the new Arnold would be way better. Because
I mean, yeah, you know, true, but Wesley legs, they're not small because he wants small legs. They're small because he's tall and it's going to take a lot of time to fill those legs out. He's still very young. He needs to just grow more. He needs to work in those legs more, which he's working on them. I've seen pictures of him as of right now being in his off season, about to prep for the 2020 Arnold. His legs have gotten better from the side, from the front, from every single angle. They still need improvement, but you know, he's working. Like he like, it's not like, oh, you know, I want small legs, let me just not squat and let me just do the bare minimum to just keep the muscle. He's working the legs. He just doesn't have the time. He doesn't have the ability to grow big legs like a shorter guy. It's just a matter of time. It's just going to take more time to grow them.
his old body, although we like it, would not win classic physique nowadays. He wouldn't make the weight class for starters. He's not nearly lean enough. Arnold Schwarzenegger would not win a contest today. Did he win in the 70s? Yeah, but that's like a bazillion years ago. It's different. Times have changed. Wesley poses similar to how Arnold posed. He copies some of his posing, but doesn't mean he's good. It doesn't mean that just because you copy a guy's pose that you're good. It doesn't look...
I mean, yeah, I agree, but he looks good in those poses, which makes him stand out. So I feel like, once again, it's a case where it helps him more than it hurts him, because if he was more conventional with just doing what everyone else does, it's very easy to just lose sight of him. It's very easy to not look at Wesley if he just does what everyone else does. Those long poses, they just work more for that kind of physique. So I feel like, yes, he copies Arnold, but it also works better with his physique as well. So yeah, he doesn't really lose, to be honest.
Look as good in the pose. Wesley's glutes aren't lean. They're not cut. They're not defined. If you look at the guys nowadays who are winning, they're mind-blowing shredded.
Yeah, it's true.
Look at Chris Bumstead, look at Breon, look at George Peterson.
They all have glutes.
These guys are shredded, so lean, so much detail. Wesley does not have that kind of detail. Another thing that I dislike about his physique is Wesley, when he does, for example, a front double bicep, his lats are really high.
Yeah.
So they're only like that long or that high. So they start really high up. So his waist is very, very long. Long torso.
I see it.
So he's shaped kind of like straight.
Yeah.
Like no V taper coming up. It's not that he sucks.
I mean, he really can't help that. That's just his genetics. I don't think... I don't know if there's any way he can pose to fix that. Like, if he does like the Sean Roden twist, maybe you'll see something more. Or like the Brandon Curry twist, because Brandon and Sean, they kind of do this twist with their waist that looks amazing. So maybe that's what Wesley kind of needs, but I guess we have to see it first to really say that will fix that little issue. But, you know, he just has high lats. That's just his genetics.
It's that in comparison to the best in the world, he just doesn't stack up to those kind of guys. I don't think he will ever win a pro show ever again. I don't think he will make it to the Olympia ever. I don't think he'll get in on points. And I think that he's highly overrated. I think there's dozens and dozens.
I think he has the ability to win a pro show. I think, well, he's already made it at the Olympia. He'll probably get there again, even on points. I feel like he's interesting because now we have Chris Bumstead, who's a champion. I feel like Wesley Vissers can be compared more favorably to a Chris Bumstead versus a Breon to a Chris Bumstead, because they have similar height, maybe not similar build, but they're, you know, tall guys, long limbs. You know, it's an interesting comparison there. Like, you know, they don't have the best back kind of thing. Wesley has crazy arms, Chris doesn't. Chris has crazy legs, Wesley doesn't. I feel those guys, it'll be an interesting comparison if they're both in their best condition ever. Obviously, Chris Bumstead comes in way better condition than Wesley, so Chris wins, obviously. But, you know, I feel like, you know, that's kind of a good comparison, to be honest. So I feel like he'll make it to Olympia, and him bringing in conditioning, I mean, he can win a pro show. He's done it before with literally no color, with lackluster conditioning, and almost no oil as well. I mean, he still won that show. So I mean, you're not gonna take that away from, like, you have a Wesley Vissers who is not that great. Now he takes a year off to make improvements, comes back. I mean, why would he not win a pro show again?
Dozens of better classic physique guys. I think he's only really popular because his height, his looks, and Nick Strength and Power, who promoted him like crazy. So he got a bit of a following. He has his accent that's cool. And so you watch this guy, and he's young, and you think, oh, 22 years old, and you think, wow, so much potential. Then you watch them compete, and you realize, no. Like, literally, this guy thought, I'm the future of the sport. And it's like, no, you're not at the level of...
I've never heard him say that he's the future. I mean, he is. He's young. He's going to grow with the division. Maybe he goes open, I don't know. But, I mean, even if he doesn't say that, he is a future. He can be one of these guys who just places in top 3, never winning the actual Olympia. But if he keeps it up, if he keeps improving, then maybe he will one day set the standard. Who knows? Because the 70s were big for tall guys. You know, Lou Ferrigno, Arnold, Serge Nubret. These guys were tall. Franco won it, obviously, you know, but, you know, when Arnold was king, like, height was everything. So he has that. Chris Bumstead has that. I feel like we might see a changing of the guard, you know, coming in the next couple of years of what they're looking for. I feel that top 5 at the Olympia will probably change for more taller guys. You have, like, Henry Pierre Arnaud, who really didn't do that well, honestly. Like, he was like 12th in, you know, 2018, so not a great placing for him. But if he turns it around and he brings in a smaller package and more conditioning, then he can get back in that top 5. So I feel like it's gonna be good for him.
A Breon or a Chris Bumstead or a Keon, like, there's so many guys that are just at higher levels. His height is helping him. His size is good. He still needs to get bigger. He has more pounds that he can fill out, so he can do a little bit better, but he's not winning any shows. He has a site. It's called Vintage Genetics. So it's all about the classic physique and bringing back the old days and bringing back the 1970s and 80s. But I just don't see it when I look at his physique. I don't see him as some classic guy. It's just the sport came out and they called this new division called classic physique. 5 years ago, when there was no classic physique, he would have been some bodybuilder. He would have been trying to get big and trying to get well known. He would have probably been a fitness model kind of guy because he's good looking and tall and has muscle. And that would have been the end of it. But because there's classic, people are all like, oh, I'm classic, because you never really know what are they going for. Until I competed in classic this year, I thought, maybe I'm classic. Maybe I'm going to be good. I was thinking, you know, maybe I'll get top 5 in my pro show. What did I do? I got 10th. So I got, like, barely made the top 10. I was hoping I'd be top 5. I look at the guys and I'm like, am I better than any of them? Arguably, maybe, but maybe not. So if I don't have that shape, I don't have that shape. Classic physique in general is you need to have the smallest weight.
Yeah, I just feel like he's talking about the vision now, but all in all, you know, there's points I agree with. There are points I don't agree with. Either way, I feel like this is a really critical approach to Wesley. I feel like, you know, if you really watch the guy, you're going to get a different interpretation of how he is versus how Greg described him. But either way, I'm excited to see what Wesley brings in 2020. And I know he's made some great improvements, and hopefully those improvements are going to be very noticeable on stage. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like, share, a comment down below. You're not subscribed, make it a thing. Sub down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.